Let me know when we start. Oh,
There you go.
okay, I guess that answers that. Good afternoon. As a preliminary matter, this is John Brescher, Chair of the Real Estate Assessment Committee. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Penny Dye.
Present.
Lee Saperstein.
Here.
Thomas Barrett.
Here.
Jeff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Then we have Ken Bogrand.
Present.
Allison Mitchell.
Here.
Okay. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Real Estate Assessment Committee is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. For this meeting, the Real Estate Assessment Committee is convened by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public can join. Please know that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. We're going to now turn to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude the remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking, and please remember to speak clearly. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items of public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Delightful. Okay, so let's go to the first item on the agenda. And can we have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Sure.
I'll second.
Great.
Okay.
Motion made and second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote. Lee Saperstein.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Thomas Barrett.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. Terrific. Public comment. Seeing as there are no members of the public present, we'll skip over that. Approval of the minutes. Ally, thank you for drafting such diligent minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read through these minutes? Any comments, questions, etc.? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 9th, 2021 and December 13th, 2021?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Beautiful. Motion made and second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote. Lee Saperstein.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Thomas Barrett.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. Okay, takes us to the meat of our discussion. Order of taking by eminent domain of easements over the portions of Hancock Street. Ooh, very exciting. Ken, do you want to give us the quick overview on this
Sure.
one?
Yeah, both of these were citizens petitions that were approved at town meeting last year. Basically, this is a two-step process. We've asked Vicki Marsh to draft the proposed order of taking, have you review it and recommend to the select board that they consider the order of taking by eminent domain of the easements of portions of Hancock Road. This has been dealt with earlier, and the abutting property has in fact dealt with the earlier portion of Hancock Road. So I think the documentation is fairly straightforward, it is our recommendation that you as a committee approve the order of taking and recommend to the select board the consideration and execution of the order of taking by eminent domain of the easements over portions of Hancock Road as shown on Hancock Street as shown on the plan.
Penny, you've got a question.
No, I just want to point out it's Hancock Street on the
Street, yeah.
plan.
Correct. It is Hancock Street. I misspoke. It is
No
Hancock
worries.
Street.
I just have a quick question. I'm just curious.
Go for it, Thomas.
This was this a paper street at one time and then it was released, but the easements weren't, or is this just strictly an easement that was called Hancock?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that when Vicky took a look at it, all we had to deal with was the release of the easement. So,
Okay, just curious in regard, because this is,
Yep.
I think this is the first time we've come across just an easement.
that is that in
Yeah.
taking a look at it and discussing with Eleanor, that's correct.
Okay,
I mean, we've done, it's funny because we've certainly done them before with, gosh, I'm gonna blank on some of the names, obviously in Surfside where it's been just release of easement rights. But I'm surprised that Hancock, that it was this portion of Hancock, but whatever. Okay, all right, do we have any other, oh, yes, Lee, go ahead.
It's a simple question. I'm looking at the plan that was developed by Sullivan, and it says on the upper portion of the plan, Hancock Street not constructed. But may I assume that there's a dirt road that gives the Alberys access to their property?
They absolutely have access to their property.
Okay, so not constructed means it wasn't paved, but doesn't mean that it wasn't open.
I think that's a fair interpretation. That's correct.
Okay, I'm done. I'll take that hand down.
Okay. Yes, Penny?
Yeah, I'll make a motion if we're ready.
I think we, unless anybody has anything else, I think we are.
Okay, I make a motion for the order of taking by eminent domain of the easements over portions of Hancock Street as illustrated on the plan in our packet.
Okay, motion has been made. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Great, thank you. Motion has been made and second. Is there any further discussion on this motion? All right, hearing none, let's do a roll call vote. Lee Saperstein,
All right,
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Thomas Barrett,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well.
Now, John, I know you're going to recuse yourself, but before you do,
Yes.
we sent out a second map with respect to this earlier today to address the issues that John had raised with respect to this particular property. And so if you're able to, without conflicting yourself, are you comfortable with the map that we have presented as a result of Vicky Marsh's discussions with you?
Yes, but let me double check on the map before
When was that sent? Can somebody tell me, please?
She didn't send a map. She sent a
A
new,
Word document.
yes,
Word document, yeah, sorry.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
it was
just-
not a map.
at 9:14 this morning, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Hey, okay.
Okay. Similar to the other one, this was again a citizens article last year. We reviewed it and found that there was no detriment to the town and a possible benefit to the town. And so therefore, we are bringing it forward to, in fact, have you review it and make a recommendation to the select board to consider the order of taking by eminent domain of the portion of this. This will then come back to you once the select board has moved forward with this, because you will then, in fact, be taking a look at both of these in terms of determining the level of compensation that needs to be made in connection for the release or the transfer of, in the first case, the easement, and in the second case here, fee simple to Cherry Street. I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Ken, it's Lee. I'm looking at the plan, and Cherry Street has got parcel A and parcel B. Are we talking about taking both of those?
We need to take a look at what the language that's in the order is what Vicky determined what it is that we're taking.
Could somebody read that to me?
Do you have that there, Ally?
Yes, hold on, let me grab it. Let's see, the land shown. Hold on, I just make sure I'm reading this right. Parcel A, Cherry Street. Parcel B, Cherry Street. Sorry, I'm just reading through. Any and all trees, vegetation, and driveways on the parcels are included in this order of taking, excluding the right to use for access purposes. The driveways shown on said plan for the benefit of the property shown as 7 Folger Avenue and 9 Folger Avenue, abutting said parcels. Any utility easements in the parcels are to be excluded from this order of taking.
It's both A and B then,
It's
Lee.
both, yeah. And one going, yes, it's A and B.
All right. Are we ready for John to turn into a pumpkin?
Well,
I think we need to vote on this.
Yeah, he has recused himself, and then the three of you need to vote on it.
I
I'll make
understand.
I'll make a
I was asking if John was off, and I can see he's muted himself. So yes. By the way, it's a Cinderella reference. The coach turns into a pumpkin.
So I'm happy to make a motion if you'd like.
Yes,
And,
please.
That we-
and
that
Penny,
we-
I'm happy to second it.
Okay,
if
well,
you're-
I'll make a motion that we approve the order of taking by eminent domain of portions of Cherry Street as shown, Cherry Street in Surfside, not Cherry Street in town,
Right.
as shown on the map in our packet.
Penny, if I may be explicit, that includes parcels A and B.
Correct.
Okay.
I think Tom should, if you're acting as chairman, I think Tom should be the person to second,
I'll second.
and then further discussion.
None for me.
None.
Then Lee, you need to call a vote by roll call.
I didn't realize I'd become chair. Penny Dye, your vote, please.
I vote aye.
Thomas Barron, your vote, please.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well.
Wonderful.
Thank it. Then John can come back to take us through the rest of the agenda.
I've returned from my pumpkin. Let's see. So next item of business is any other business. Hearing none, other than I do think we should vote for officers at our next March meeting.
Yeah,
Um,
Ally's got that down.
Cool. And then the next one is just review of the 2022 schedule.
Penny?
Yeah, does it make sense, John, to have it be monthly and we could always not meet if we didn't need to?
I think that's fine with me
Yeah.
to again, so that we just set it up as a
Regular meeting.
regular
And
meeting on
I-
Monday.
Yeah, I would
Sounds
like
good.
to have it Mondays because we have Affordable Housing Trust on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it looks as though from this draft schedule that it's, other than say, because of the 4th of July falling on a Monday and perhaps Indigenous Peoples' Day on a Monday. Otherwise they're all on Monday. So I think that the only thing
that
we
was
don't
the-
have is a time set, but that's, I think generally speaking, somewhere between, call it 1:30 and 3 o'clock works for most people.
Yeah, Ally, I think you can comment because I think you were talking to Erica about trying to save the same time on the days that we had. Do you have any feedback on that?
Yes, so the goal is to do it on Mondays, and preferably, like you said, John, 2 o'clock works great. This week, it really came down to the fact that the fact that we didn't have a quorum on a Monday. If we ever don't have a quorum on a Monday, we'll have to change it. And preferably we change it to Tuesdays simply because most of the things we're dealing with have to go obviously to the select board, and we need to get that to Erica in a timely manner. And I typically do need to send abutters letters and get into the paper for 2 weeks. A lot of these items. Ken and I were just talking this morning as well, that we actually have a lot of these yard sale requests kind of coming in pretty quickly. So what we'd like to do in this office, I think, is as they come in, start to kind of schedule them out for the next month's meeting. It gives us and Vicky plenty of time to get everything together. And then it gives me the ability to write back to these people and say, you're scheduled for the April meeting or the May meeting or the June meeting. And it gives them a good expectation about when we're going to take it up with them. So. That's monthly makes sense in that instance. And maybe someday we won't be so busy and we'll say we have nothing to talk about. And we'll see you next month.
Dare to dream. Lee, your hand was up.
Yes, I don't think this is a problem, but I will point out that the first Monday in May is town meeting. But that doesn't start till 6.
Unless we can convince everyone to do it on the weekend again, outside in a tent.
It was
was a
so
Brit-
fun.
Pretty pleasant
I
way to
loved
spend
it.
a Saturday, just saying.
I loved it.
Good too.
We can always, we don't have to vote on this by any means, just I would say keep this schedule, kind of on the back burner and I'm
Yep.
going to refer to it. And I'll just double check with everybody before we schedule
Well,
each. one.
The only question I have in regard to the schedule is the one for, I think you had it down for like July 5th or 6th.
Yeah, we can either
That
change.
one we may want to do before
Yeah.
the July.
We
4th.
we may wind up taking a summer schedule for
Okay.
Exactly.
either July and August, depending
Yeah.
on how people's.
That
how
was my
busy
only
people get.
comment. That was my only comment.
Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
fair point. Okay, so this is great. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, and John, if we do get back into face-to-face meetings, can we schedule these at the Wanna
I hope so. That was a nice spread out there.
Yeah,
It was
that was-
very easy to get to. It was easy in, easy out, no headaches, no hassle.
Ken and Ally, you guys have your fingers on the pulse of this way more than I do. Is there any talk of going back to in person?
well, yeah, the select board is talking about that. The issue that we have is addressing meeting venues. Okay.
Sure.
And the problem is that there are even more limited ones than there were before. And so figuring out that Erica is working on that to figure out how do we do that. And then there's going to end up being a priority of certain committees and groups
Yeah.
are going to have priority over others. So we will see how that works out. But obviously this group has worked really well with respect to the in-person meetings, and that was a fantastic location, and we never had any problems with the water company. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that.
Lee, I saw you up first.
Yeah, so something to think about. If the rules revert to what they were prior to the pandemic, digital or electronic connections are permitted, but the person online doesn't count toward a quorum.
Right.
Okay, if that's the case, nonetheless, there may be some of us who are off island, but who could connect.
Yep.
And therefore, I'm suggesting, as we look for venues, let's make sure that there's a smart screen that can accommodate Zoom. Somebody in the room becomes the Zoom host, providing, of course, there's a quorum in the room.
That's a very good point. Penny.
I was
your
just going to comment that I serve on a few committees, and this one, in my view, has done a really good job with attendance for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, much better than some of the other things. Yeah, good job, leadership.
patting all of ourselves on the back for that one. Yeah, lots of kudos all around. No, it's a great point. It really is, and I from other committees that either I sit on or have present to. I mean, it's a point well taken.
And what's really encouraging to me is that you guys actually read this stuff before you get to the meeting.
You have to.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, that isn't necessarily always the case, Penny.
I understand. That's why I'm on this committee, not the other one.
All right, so getting back to this, we don't need a motion. This is really more for discussion purposes. But at this point, I think the date and time of our next meeting, we can tentatively schedule it for would be Monday, March 7th at, I think, 2:00, sort of depending on Zoom 2 or Zoom availability with the select board, or actually with town administration.
Yes, I would say unless anyone on this committee has a problem, that should be fine. The 2:00.
Nope.
Okay, sounds good. So just send out an invite link, once we get it scheduled, and we'll go from there.
I also, may I say one other thing?
Yeah, please.
I just want to shout out to Ally for the great job on the minutes and the communication.
Very thorough, yes.
Thank you very much. I
No, we're
did
so
my
lucky to have you, and it was so fun to meet you in person. You're tinier than I thought you'd be.
best. Thanks,
Wait,
Betty.
And Ally, let me say, we were very grateful for you because when this committee first started, we did not have a minute taker.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
both Rhoda and I, for various months, took the minutes and they were an abomination.
They're something. They keep me awake, that's for sure.
She obviously didn't learn from that.
As long as we're being nice to Ally lent Priscilla her first dollar to participate in a Maya Comet golf betting pool.
Nice.
Priscilla and I go way back. We do.
That's fantastic. All right, unless anybody has anything else, can I have a motion to adjourn at, I've got 2:53 on my phone. Okay, motion made. Is there a second?
Sure.
I'll second.
Awesome. Okay, let's do a roll call vote. Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Hi.
Thomas Barretta,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. All right,
By the way, John,
yes, sir.
Hi.
General Robert says, if you have a printed agenda and you reach the end of that agenda,
You're
you
done.
are. But that's okay. We can be formal about it. We're
I
adjourned.
don't, well, the
Okay.
fact that these aren't printed, but it's on PDF, does that get, I wonder what General Roberts would have thought of that.
All right.
Anyway.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye,
afternoon, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.